Hi, friends. I'm Katie.
And I'm Lauren, and welcome to Okay, But Did You Know? A podcast where we talk about the TV and media that we love with a friend who's never seen it before.
Today we're recapping and chatting about Bob's Burgers Season 7, Episode 7, The Last Gingerbread House on the Left, and Episode 8, Ex MachTina. And we always start off with a synopsis for each episode before we get started. So here is Episode 7, The Last Gingerbread House on the Left. Bob is stressed over the kids' Christmas expectations, and the kids start their countdown to Christmas presents. Linda tries to bring the Belcher family together with caroling. Mr. Fischoeder calls just as the family and Teddy are about to leave and requests Bob bring food over immediately. Bob discovers he's actually been invited to the Gingerbread Gentleman's annual gingerbread house competition. If he loses for Mr. Fischoeder, they won't have to pay rent next month. Bob goes along with the plan so he can use that money on the kids' Christmas. Linda and Teddy take the kids caroling, but the neighborhood doesn't want to join or have hot cocoa. They avoid the creepy house until it's the only house left, and Louise insists on visiting it. The owner scares them, but ends up joining in caroling and has hot cocoa. Bob gets sick of Fischoeder insulting him, so he decides to compete seriously and win the albino polar bear cuddle. His fellow competitors destroy most of the gingerbread houses in a shootout, and Bob is the last one standing. The kids get the best Christmas with Amity, the albino polar bear. That I wrote that. That's
Again,
things that happened.
it's worth noting you wrote that after we talked about an episode in which the future Queen of Hearts gave birth to the future Wicked Witch of the West, who then later made out with the Dark One, so.
So we usually start off with our puns, but since this is like a special episode that needed more time, the vacant storefront and the pest control trunk do not. They
They
are
do
not
not.
featured.
And there's only one burger.
There is,
It's the Away in a Mango burger.
which I would eat. I think I like mango a lot.
Like a mango salsa?
Like it would be. I feel like or like like something with it. I
Yeah.
think it would work if you do the like as always. If you do the right combination of bun and cheese, it would
Mm-hmm.
work.
Yeah.
But just a few fun notes on this episode. The title is a reference to the 1972 horror film The Last House on the Left, which, I think if I was forced into a gingerbread contest, which I personally am not good at, um, and then there was a shootout, I think I would avoid that.
Yeah. I'm not.
I,
I'm not. I'm also not good at gingerbread. Like the building of them, they always fall apart.
yeah.
Like I would buy a pre-built one, like because you don't eat them anyway. So like I would buy one that's like pre-built and
Have you met my children?
glued together.
Yeah, no, my kid, like, of course, we use icing for everything. Like, my kids eat off of theirs after it's said and
Mm.
done. To the point, we do one every year. We build it, and they're like, can we eat it now?
Like take one
And then
picture.
it's you get like the couple of pictures out of it, and then they're eating it. I will say this is like the perfect time for us right now to be recording this because
Yeah.
it's December 16th for us.
Yeah.
We literally have Christmas next week. Not that you celebrate Christmas all that much,
This is
but
true. I don't.
Hanukkah is at the same time this year,
It is. Hanukkah is on Christmas Day this year.
which is so cool.
Mm-hmm. I guess.
Um,
Well, for people listening to this, last year.
exactly. See,
This comes
everybody
out
else
in
is just
March.
probably awkwardly listening to this in March, but it's great timing for us.
Yeah.
Because it's nice that this is like the second time we've done this around the same time last year.
Mm-hmm.
It
It
was
just works
also
out.
we were getting Thanksgiving and Christmas episodes.
Mm-hmm. It works out nicely.
So an albino polar bear joke was made in the 2011 comedy sequel, The Hangover Part 2, which of course Zach Galifianakis is in, which is also funny because he is the voice of Felix Fischoeder.
That he is.
And Bob's gingerbread house has gingerbread effigies of Linda and the kids on the front lawn. Jean and Louise's eyes just appear as dots, unlike Tina and Linda, which denote their glasses. And Jean's fat belly is cheesed by using a marshmallow. And Louise does have rabbit ears on her.
Mm-hmm.
Like he did really good with his
Yeah.
little family. And the hymn Oscar sings during the shooting montage, that's a sentence, is Adeste, I hope I say this correctly, Adeste Fideles, known in English as "O Come All Ye Faithful."
Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten that off of the lyrics, but after I listened to it, I'm like, oh, that's what he's
Yeah.
saying.
Almost almost all of my notes are lines because this episode had some of the best lines
Yeah, I also
that
I have a
existed.
lot of lines. I have other commentary as well, but I also have plenty of lines.
I just, I think we need to explain to them what poor means.
Just bring 5 or 6 foods over and out.
We're so poor, Lennon. It's Christmas. Again, it keeps coming. It never stops. That is a real feeling as a parent
Mm-hmm.
because I swear every year we struggle to get to this month, and then December is really hard on us, as Lauren knows. And then it's just the stress of gotta get gifts, gotta get this, gotta do that. It's so exhausting. It just keeps
Mm-hmm.
coming every year.
Never stops. Bob would be great at being sacrificed. He's got the body for it.
He's got the body for it. You know what the greatest gift of all is? Family. You say that to the kids with a straight face.
That's accurate. Dad, he's our man. If he can't do it, good.
It's definitely a human sacrifice party.
Build it really tall and unstable, like some of my properties.
I wrote that one too, and he's like, "What? Well, not your place. Yeah, you're fine." I did love the, oh God, please don't be something horrible. Oh, they're gonna cover me with candy and eat me.
I was going to buy an island and flip it, literally.
Maybe we should just pack it in. Go home and drink the kind of hot cocoa that's wine.
Yeah, I had that one too. Peace on earth and salsa mild.
That's all of the lines I wrote down, but
I
oh
have
my
one.
God.
I have one more, and it's when
Perfect.
at the very end, it's Bob to fish at her, and you have pretty eye.
I love this episode. I truly, truly do. Because it's, of course, Linda having all these. It's the whole family having expectations for something
Yeah.
and it not going well whatsoever for anybody.
Oh yeah.
And even
That's
though Bob gets separated from the family, it doesn't feel disjointed.
no, because it's all part of the same chaos of they're
Mm-hmm.
gonna of I mean they're gonna go caroling. He's being asked to bring food. That's causing like it's a chain reaction of events that doesn't feel disjointed because it's all connected. As opposed to like last week with the chain reaction being kind of forcing Tina to be completely separate from everybody else.
Yeah.
It's like this one is at least more connected.
So, what are your thoughts that you have written down?
I wrote down I appreciate the kids are organized with their binders. Like I do agree with the do they know what poor means, but like having gift binders feels on brand for these kids.
Oh yeah,
Very much so.
we like to
Uh,
have good expectations
yeah.
from like the realistic. We like
Yeah,
having
realistic.
realistic expectations from our kids on Christmas, and so every year we do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
We do the 5 gifts of Christmas: want, wear, need. I add eat in there and read. So they
Mm-hmm.
always get books. They always get new pajamas. They always get like the same type of stuff in their stocking.
Yeah.
And then the things change with the want and the need as they get older.
Mm-hmm.
So we always end up getting in like 1 or 2 extra things just because sometimes kids need more than one thing or want more
Yeah.
than one thing,
Mm-hmm.
but it's never crazy. It's always something within reason.
Yeah. I will say, as a Jew who does not celebrate
Yeah.
Christmas and never has celebrated Christmas, like my parents, like when I was little, and like it evolved as my brother and I got older. So like when we were kids, like we got like 8 like little things because that's the whole point of.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say that's the whole point of Hanukkah, but yeah, that is kind of the whole point of Hanukkah, at least for American Jews. It's I could go on a rant about the meaning of Hanukkah if there's ever a Hanukkah Bob's episode. But is there one?
Not that I can think of.
Interesting.
But after
Okay.
this, I'll be watching the newest Christmas episode for season
Oh, okay.
15.
Nice.
That's tonight's plan.
Gotcha. So like with Hanukkah, it's like for when we're kids, like yeah, we would get like 8 like small toys or 8 something like that. Like my grandma would say like when she was younger, like she'd get like a quarter a night,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. And like as we got older, like so it went from being we could either get 8 small things or we could get 4 slightly bigger things as we wanted them. That then now has turned into basically we get one thing because we're adults and the things that we desire as adults are more expensive than they were when we were kids.
Oh yeah.
So it's evolved as we grew up, but it's we had that expectation of like it's 8 small things, and I'm sure there was some level of I really don't know if other families had a gift giving character quite like Santa Claus. Like amongst my friends, there was the joke of Hanukkah Harry, but none of us thought he was real.
Hanukkah Harry.
That was what we came up with. It was basically a wizard, because in my mind he basically looked like Merlin from the Sword and the Stone.
That is hilarious. See, because
So,
we technically celebrate Yule, but we
mm-hmm.
do Christmas because my family
Yeah,
celebrates Christmas. And it's the only day my husband's off.
that's fair.
Yule's not always exactly on an off day.
Yeah. Like that for my extended family, we do Hanukkah whenever we really in the realm of the holiday. Like
Yeah.
that's a case of like it's the celebration, it's the getting together, it's not the day itself. And to be fair, we do still have 8 chances and still miss it most years. But
I
my like
love that.
my immediate family, we do Hanukkah. Like that's like my mom. She makes latkes one day a year. That's it. That's the only time she does it. She do the latkes. Sometimes we light candles. Sometimes we don't. And like we do that. That's like my immediate family. That's like me and my brother and his spouse. But that's also kind of a some point in December.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really matter when.
You just wake up one day and there's latkes.
Basically, 'cause she makes like 5 pounds of potatoes. But this is why
What?
she's like it's so much work. I'm like, yeah, because like she's like that's why she only does it once. I'm like, yeah, it's a lot of work because you make way too many for 5 people. Like conceivably, like, and we usually have something else in addition. Like we have chicken, we have steak, whatever. Like we have something in addition to the latkes. But like it's always like maybe at most each of us eats 3, maybe 4.
And now I really want a latke.
Latkes are delicious. What can I say?
I wouldn't know.
It's just a potato pancake. Like, you could like
It's
you know
potatoes.
you could just make them.
I love potatoes.
Basically a hash. I mean, it's basically latkes. I mean, there's a specific way depending on who you are and how you want to make them.
Yeah.
But like, it's essentially a hash brown. If you had a hash brown, you've had the essence of a latke.
I don't want the essence. I want the thing.
I appreciate this. I can't give you a recipe because there isn't one.
I know. I would love to just see the conversation with your mother of like, I need a latke recipe. Can you give me one?
Well, we were joking the other day. I said like I was because I'm taking my magic bullet with me when I move out.
Yeah.
I'm not buying a big blender. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not making 5 pounds of potatoes worth of latkes all at once. She went, oh, you're not taking that over? I'm like, maybe when you die, not right now.
So yeah, I've already adopted we take the younger people take care of the holidays. And it's definitely interesting because my grandmother's like just gets to sit back as we do it, and it's so
Mm-hmm.
funny because every time she's just like, "What do you want me to do?" And I'm like, "Sit there and play with children."
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Give me something to do, please."
I need a
Every
task.
time,
I need
I
a
need a
task.
task. You don't let me do this anymore.
But so when Bob got to the house with
Mm-hmm.
the 5 or 6 foods, I wrote down there's a password for the party. Is it a sex party? Please don't be a sex party. And then I wrote underneath it, it's a gingerbread house making competition. Somehow that's worse than I thought. Well, I personally wouldn't, as we established. I don't build the gingerbread houses. If I decorate them, it's a case of I just I just do them. I get a pre-built one that's already glued together.
Okay, but like one day there has to be a gingerbread thing. Like it has to happen now. One day in the far, far future.
One day when I visit you, we'll make gingerbread.
The amount of things that we keep listing of like when we finally get together one day, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. We're not gonna have enough time to do all the things we want.
No.
And then we'll probably still not do them.
Most likely, we'll just end up just talking in a bookstore, drinking coffee
Pretty much.
for
I
days.
mean, still Broadway's gonna happen, but
Oh, yeah, definitely. But I read that afterwards, he wants him to throw the gingerbread house making competition. But what about the spirit of competition?
I thought you were gonna say, what about the spirit of Christmas?
What about the spirit of Christmas?
It's very fitting though. Like it's this eccentric millionaire
Yeah.
like thing of let's put quite a few of them in one room together. What would they do together in this season? Apparently the answer is build gingerbread houses, but they
And
have to put
then,
all their guns on a table.
well, because, yeah, but they didn't do that, though, because it's build gingerbread houses and then shoot them.
Yep.
And Bob won by de facto because his was the least destroyed.
I loved that. He's the last one standing. He wins, and it's just because yes, I too would be like, you don't want me to pay my rent? I will gladly go build a gingerbread house
But
poorly.
this is the thing is like Bob constantly gets in his own way. Like, yes, he ultimately got the albino cuddle
Yeah.
bear cuddle session for his kids, so he got them a really good gift without having to worry about the free rent. But like he constantly, because what was like how many months or years of free rent was he gonna get from the Thanksgiving situation?
Oh God, so many. I think it was
So many.
like 3, 4. I think it was almost up to like 6 months,
It
5,
was
6 months,
yeah, it was a very long time of free rent on a residential and commercial space.
which is
Like,
so expensive.
it's so expensive. So he would have saved so much money if he'd just not drank absinthe.
And that's the main plot of Bob's Burgers. How many
Yeah,
times can Bob get in his own way?
because is that with the Deadliest Game or the Hunger Games, the Odor Games. That was what that was called. That
Yeah,
episode, like people could have gotten free rent because the water. I was going through everything that was hunting people down.
every single thing.
So yeah, like that one. Like if he'd just stuck to the water balloon fight and not martyred himself,
And it's
free
interesting
rent.
because it sometimes comes off as like, a narrative on being a good person. Like if you're a good person and you try to do what's right, how often does it like get in the way of other things? Because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that is reality. Like if you're trying to be a good person and you have to close your business to do so, you're not going to make as much money. If you're not as good as a person but leave your business open and say no, you're going to make more money.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting. I'm just see the things I'm noticing in Bob's Burgers because I make you watch it.
Yeah, it's a constant commentary. Yeah, like you said on the what it means to be a good person. But I think this is just us watching it as adults in a capitalistic society of just take the money
Yeah, we're like just do the money, man.
for once. Just be
Just
a little
once.
selfish. And yes, I know that building gingerbread houses was a thing with you and your mom. I get this. I get the nostalgia for it. I get the feeling in your bones of how to make
Ooh.
a stable, stable gingerbread house. But here's the thing: just take the money.
See, the thing with his mom though is we only get pieces of
Mm-hmm.
their story
Yeah.
from time to time. So the fandom, including myself, have really latched on to this relationship that he had with his mom because she has passed in the
Mm-hmm.
story. And she passed when he was a child. And so like the little pieces that we get, like something as simple as this kind of warms your heart when he's just like it's like was me and my mom's thing. And they do really tend to space out things that have to do with his mom,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so sad. So it's one of those moments when you're like, I know it's this, but for me it's like there is no but,
Yeah.
because
Okay.
anything that has anything to do with Bob's mom, as you watch the show more and you get more of it, especially with the movie too,
Uh huh.
like it makes you cry.
Okay.
Like it does. It's such a sweet, heartwarming, but also sad. It's so much. It's so much.
Mm-hmm.
This show has destroyed me as a person.
Nah, that's fair. I did write down, which is it's worth noting here. If you want to hire someone to lose on purpose at a gingerbread making contest, maybe you don't ask the chef.
It was. I mean, I need the alternate universe where he asks Jimmy Pesto.
Yeah, that's true. He'd still be shitty at it.
Like Jimmy Pesto would actually be bad at it, but he would annoy everybody so much they would end up shooting him.
Yes,
Like that's
exactly.
how that would go.
That's exactly it. He would piss off the founding fathers of Seymour's Bay.
Oh God.
That's a sentence.
That is a sentence.
And again, we talk about Once Upon a Time, and that's weird.
Dude, is this just our lives now, watching weird shit and talking about it? Because that's what we're doing.
Landship.
I'm
So
dead
yes,
serious.
the
You're
answer
about
is
to
yes.
get like a million different clips exported that I'm gonna like download. I'm gonna try and find all the bloopers that I can. And half of that is going to be Landship.
Landship.
I know what I'm doing tomorrow.
There you go.
To the point you're gonna be annoyed, be like, Katie, how many? Like, I'm finding everything.
It's the beauty of my email not having push notifications is I will just open my email at the end of my workday to likely 50 Riversides. Your video has been exported. Like,
Hey, see the text message now. What the fuck did you do?
I was offline for 8 hours.
Yeah. How did you do so much?
Why can't you have this level of focus for regular clips?
I did my clips.
You do. You did.
It took me a while, but I got back to it.
You got there. I was behind on the social posts as well, so.
Oh, goodness. This is our friendship.
It is.
What did you rate this?
This one gets 9s across the board. It was fun.
Valid.
It was chaotic. It's like unlike you with getting the 9s for bleeding through, where there was a pretty concrete reason why you took off points. This one's just it's that magic sauce ether situation of it doesn't feel like a 30, but it is still a good episode.
It's like when you rate a book 4.5 stars. It just there's something missing to make it a full 5.
You can't quantify it, but there's something missing.
Yeah. I gave character and personal both 10.
Okay.
But I gave plot 9 because I have that same feeling, but I feel like personally I really love it, and character wise it does really, really well. So it's just like on plot where I'm like something there. I think that's where it's at is plot wise, is missing for me.
Gotcha.
Not bad though. Not bad.
No, good scores all around.
Season 7's interesting thus far. And we're about to get even more interesting because now we have episode 8, Ex MachTina. Tina sprains her ankle while practicing walking in new heels. She's excited for the 8th grade beach bonfire, but Jimmy Jr. doesn't seem to want to go with her. Mr. Fran asks Tina to participate in a test for the robotic mobility pilot program, and she starts attending school via robot. Jimmy Jr. opens up to Tina now that she's a robot, and Jean and Louise take the robot for joyrides in the evenings. Jimmy Jr. doesn't treat Tina the same in person as he does when she is Robotina, and will only attend the bonfire as a robot. She attempts the bonfire as a robot, but changes her mind midway and shows up in person to support Jimmy Jr. Meanwhile, Bob bought a blah, blah, blah. That's a lot of B's. Meanwhile, Bob bought I can't do it, there's so many B's. It's a tongue tie. Okay. Meanwhile, Bob bought a banjo at the thrift store. He dreams of having a banjo moment, but then realizes it will take time to learn to play it. He struggles to find his moment until finally, Jimmy Jr. performs his musoems and Bob joins in. Seriously, Bob bought a banjo is that's a tongue tire right there.
She sells seashells by the seashore.
But we do have puns. What did you get for the vacant?
We have puns.
Vacant storefront.
So we have Cyndi Lauper hairstyling.
I don't think I want to go there.
No. And A Million Ways to Die as a Pest control.
I like that one just because I stupidly enjoy A Million Ways to Die in the West, but I really like Seth MacFarlane. I have problems. We've already established this.
Yes.
And you have burgers.
We do have burgers, so I got 2.5.
Yeah, I have the rest of your half.
Okay, because I could only read. There's a half burger that had something with feta on it.
Which one?
It had feta on it.
Oh wait, that's not the one. The one I have that assumed not fully visible is like all of them, but none of them have feta. So
yeah, one of them I thought maybe I misread it, but so the other ones that I got Video Killed the Radicchio Star Burger.
Yes.
And then the other one was If You've Got a Croissant Burger, which is that a repeat?
That is a repeat. We previously saw that in the Itty Bitty Ditty Committee, but this is like I think the second or third time they have reused a burger by now.
Oh, gotcha. So what's the other ones?
There is feta. There's the feta part. I'm sorry. It's a Caper the Friendly Ghost cheeseburger, and it's supposed to have capers and feta. I didn't see the feta part because it's under everything. Gotcha. That was my bad.
Okay.
The title and script cover are references to the 2015 movie Ex Machina, which I think that was pretty easy to pick up on.
Yep.
The plot of this episode is similar to that of the South Park episode A Nightmare on FaceTime, the Modern Family episode American Skyper, and the Community episode Laws of Robotics and Party Rights. They all have telepresence robots featured. So.
There's also a Big Bang Theory episode where Sheldon does this.
There is a Big Bang Theory. Yeah, there is. So this is done a lot. So it's not surprising that Bob's did it too. Yeah. And a total of 3.58 million households watched this episode, making it the highest rated episode in over 2 years and the highest in season 7.
Okay.
I'm really excited to see how much the numbers go up because we both know how big of a show this is now. Like, I feel like maybe it was 2020 and when people started really watching a lot more TV, it probably got a little bit bigger as well, plus with the movie and everything. Because we kind of were at like the 1 and 2 millions before leading up to here, and now we're getting more into the 3. So I'm really excited to see how much it grows because but I also want to know the Hulu numbers at this
Yeah, and
point
that's the thing.
because
We're
we
never
watch
gonna get
after
that.
where you can't get
Yeah,
that. So I'm just like, while they're only having the ones that watch the episode when it comes out, we don't really do that because we watch with our kids most of the time. So we have to wait till the next day because I'm not keeping my kids up late just to watch Bob's Burgers.
yeah.
As they get older, maybe, but I have a 4-year-old. That's so not happening.
No.
Obviously, I wrote down a lot of lines again, and also some thoughts, but we seem to have this pattern of talking about the lines because they're
Yeah.
just so fucking funny.
Mm.
Want to do
Do you want to
first?
start? I also have
I
lines written
expected
down. So do
it.
you want to start?
Yeah. So I got, guys like it when you're just right in their face. And I'm like, Louise, you're not entirely wrong.
Their attention span is so small.
It really is.
Sorry that a smarter kid didn't get injured.
No, we can hear you, Mr. Frond. I wrote that one down too. And then you have Linda going, I know a guidance counselor that's going to get injured.
Because this is how microphones work. You're too skinny, eat a battery or something.
I just had my best conversation ever with Jimmy Jr., and it's not like the bar was set low at all.
Get a computer room already.
What if God's name was Todd?
Did you see Wally? No. Good. What I'm telling you isn't that story at all.
Wait, AI like as if? Yeah, as if. Oh my god, I know. You two are making me feel smart. That coming from Zeke was so fucking perfect.
Yep. I am email.
Those are all my lines, so if you have more, keep going.
I have one more, and that's, oh, he's right. That's not a song.
This episode is like, it's not disjointed because somehow Bob still, like, the banjo thing makes a point.
It does.
Like, it's somehow still very cohesive because Bob's just waiting for his moment the whole time, and the whole family is so fed up.
And I'll admit, like, for what we heard of him at the very end, like, teaching yourself a new instrument at any age, but let alone as an adult, is hard,
Yeah.
and it takes time, and you have to learn certain skills, especially teaching yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this isn't a flex, but this is a fact. I taught myself to play the ukulele the summer between junior and senior year of high school. So, like, prime when white people were playing the ukulele. As a white person, I can say this.
You can.
And to be fair, like, I still play it. Like, I'm not like actively like increasing my skills. Nor do I need to be a professional musician. It's a hobby. It's an instrument that I enjoy playing.
Who doesn't
And like,
love a good professional ukulele player?
Those do exist. I know you're kidding, but those do exist.
I know, I'm just messing with you.
But I went to go see one. He was good. He was really good.
I love that.
But it's like, it takes time to learn an instrument. So for him to go from 0 to how he was at the end of the episode in basically, what, a week?
Mm-hmm.
That was like a big jump. So kudos to Bob for teaching himself the banjo that quickly, even though he was just annoying the crap out of his family waiting for his banjo moment, because, spoiler alert, there's never a banjo moment.
There's never a banjo. Well, I mean, unless you live where I do.
Occasionally, you could hear in your mind, like, ding 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 ding.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's like, occasionally you just hear that, but I don't actually need a banjo for that.
The amount of times I've actively watched and listened to bands that have banjos in them because of where I live. I grew up on bluegrass as well, so like I'm used to banjo.
Mm-hmm. No, that's fair.
So it's actually not that odd to me. but
this
where
might
I'm
make
from.
this better. This might make it better or worse. I also own a banjo-lele, which is just a very small banjo that is a ukulele.
This just gets better and better.
Welcome to the lore that is Lauren's hyperfixation for like 4 years in her late teens.
I love this so much. Oh my god.
I own 3 ukuleles, a banjo-lele, and a keyboard, but I've always had a keyboard, like, in my house.
You're now obligated, for whatever your setup is in your new place, to literally have these like posted on the wall behind you, just so that we can like experience this with you. Like, just nice little.
I'm not installing like guitar holders for my ukuleles, because I don't know where the setup's gonna be. We figure out what that's gonna happen. So whether there's a wall behind me or not, we don't know yet. But like,
I mean, you're gonna have walls, so I hope there's walls.
His apartment, it comes with wall and floor.
It makes me think of when people like build stuff for The Sims 4, and but like for
Mm-hmm.
content, and they just show two walls so you can see everything on the inside.
Yeah. Yes, it will have wall. I assume it will have wall at some point.
Oh goodness. I wrote that Linda is always a supportive wife, but then of course you have the moment she's like, "Let me sleep. Do not touch the banjo. It is time to sleep."
She's got her limits, like, ultimately. Like, there's only so much banjo she can take. And, like, to be fair, I get his thing of he thought she was asleep. I mean, I'm sure
Mhm.
he didn't actually think, like, he waited. But, like, even if she was asleep, the banjo would wake her up.
Oh, definitely.
So, like, it's not really. He needs to at least go into the living room.
I'm assuming this does definitely mean that Bob is like got to be like neurodivergent though, because we had his whole burger boss hyperfixation.
Yeah.
He's very hyper focused on his obsession with cooking and burgers. And
Hmm.
then suddenly now he's got a banjo hyperfixation. I'm like, what's the next one? What's what's Bob's next hyperfixation?
The world may never know.
I mean, we will
Maybe at some point.
at some point.
But yeah, this episode with Tina, I mean, the main point, the banjo being the extremely B plot of this episode
Oh
that we
yeah.
now spent 5 minutes talking about. Um, like, I understand to an extent Jimmy Jr. feeling more comfortable talking to Tina through the computer screen, because that's a very, you know,
Yeah.
that's a very known thing that people feel comfortable. Like, when there's a level of removal between people, you feel more
Mhm.
comfortable talking to them.
We do it every week.
But we do it, we do it all the time. But, like, even still, like, when you talk to somebody online versus in person, it can be very different.
Mhm.
Um, and it just, but it still doesn't really excuse how he treats her.
No, oh God, once again, Jimmy Jr. is just, really frustrating in this because throughout everything that he does, she still shows up and is
Mm-hmm.
and supports him. And yeah, he kisses her and everything, but that's also just he doesn't deserve her
No, he doesn't.
at all,
Like,
and it's
she
horrible
she deserves so much more than him, because he only ever wants her when she's unavailable
every single time.
every time.
And only when she's available in a way that he is okay with, like that he likes. Like you say, yes,
Yeah,
we understand like the screen thing, but she's been there the whole time.
exactly. Nothing has changed about the situation, and, like, he uses her as a therapist, which, like, women are not therapists for
Nope.
men unless you are being paid to be someone's therapist.
I just and this just I wish I could say it gets better. I wish I could say that he doesn't continue this trend, but he
No, I
does.
can see this is a bit that continues.
It's a bit that continues, just kind of like, Jimmy Pesto and Bob going back and forth. But I guess that's supposed to be the interesting part of it is she's got a crush on the boy that is her father's, arch enemy at this point, I guess. Like it's
Yeah.
very Romeo and Juliet type situation.
Yeah, it turns
Um
it into a star-crossed lover situation.
and but that doesn't make up for a horrible personality.
No.
Like
He's just, why
ugh,
why was he having a dance moment in the AV closet?
because it's Jimmy Jr.
And, like, I wrote after that, I'm like, dude, no, you need speech therapy.
Yeah. Oh.
Like, his whole point of it, he was mad at his dad because he told him that he had to, go to speech therapy instead of dance class. Like, you need dance therapy, dad. Like, no. I
No,
mean, maybe
speech
he could
speech
benefit
therapy
from
will
that.
help you, my man.
Yeah, you need some help. It's not a moral failing to
No.
you just ask for help. That's okay.
And like, yes, dancing is important. It's important to have an outlet, but maybe just schedule those things at different times.
Exactly. But the computer being constantly attached to that robot,
Mm-hmm.
that needed, like, a timed sign in, sign out situation. I don't know why no one thought of that.
They're testing it. Maybe that's what the test is for, to figure out what they should be doing. I love that the
Yeah,
kids figured out so quickly how to deal with
that they could just use it.
that they could use it, but also the robot, like the fake robot and the voice changer, like they figured out
Hmm.
entirely how to do all that. But also those things are loud. So
Yeah.
everybody's supposedly asleep, and Jean and Louise are doing this every night. How are they not waking up their parents?
Yeah, that I don't, because they're doing it in Tina's room. The laptop's not moving.
No, they take the laptop out.
Oh, they took the laptop.
Yeah, they
Okay,
took the laptop out to another room, but they're still pretty
but still,
loud.
yeah. And that toy especially, like
Yeah.
the megaphone thing that changed their voice. Definitely. But they're smart in that they figured it out. And like I will say, like using the robot as a decoy was actually pretty genius. But and watching that as like not it that wasn't a full C plot. That was almost just kind of like an extension of the A plot. I would feel like 'cause
Yeah.
it's all involved in the robot was good to break up. So it wasn't just the Jimmy Jr. Love situation with
Yeah.
MachTina, because it just there was only so much of that I could take. Um and yeah, that's what else? Oh, museums are terrible. Please stop.
I love that, like, through it though, Tina's just like, so you just give up and move on to the next one all the time, and he's just like, no, this is all it is. I'm like, that's just thoughts. That's just your thoughts.
Yeah, and like here's the thing: contemporary poetry. What it is, I'm not. Poetry is not my favorite thing in the world, but like there's I guess there's room for interpretation as to what poetry can be.
Yeah, I could see
I
it. I could
suppose
see that.
it's in the eyes of the beholder. However, what if God's name was Todd? Maybe not a poem.
No, not a poem. Just a inquiry.
Yes, it's a thought. It's definitely it's a Facebook status.
It's a
It's a
Facebook
tweet.
status that like your great grandmother post.
Exactly, it's a tweet,
It's a
and I do
tweet.
mean tweet. What do you call posts on X now? I don't even know.
Because I don't call it X. It's still Twitter.
It's still Twitter. It's only ever Twitter.
I'm not on
So
there, so I don't care.
neither am I. But it's just that's his museums or tweets. That's what they are.
Yeah.
And I was very happy for Bob. Like everyone was dunking on him, but he was just so excited to have a banjo moment.
And he got it. He got his banjo moment.
He got his banjo moment. But also, this was the thing was before the banjo moment towards the end, when they're having like when Tina shows up to the beach, the bonfire situation, could he not see her entire family sitting in frame of the camera watching this happen?
Apparently not.
Is he just not that observant?
No, I mean it's Jimmy Pest. I mean it's Jimmy Jr. I don't take him to be the most observant child.
No, this is true. But this was something I am very observant. Uh, why is a beach party episode airing right after a Christmas episode?
Because it's Bob's Burgers and nothing is
I was
timed
like,
correctly because they are owned by Fox.
I guess I'm like, is it not December?
There's the bonfire?
I guess,
I would
yeah.
assume so. This would
There's
have
no
come
snow.
out in January or maybe
Yeah.
closer to February, depending on the season. Because every year it's a little bit different.
Mm,
Like I said, December 16th is when we're recording this, which means last night the Christmas episode of Bob's came out, which means we're gonna watch this and we're not gonna have any more Bob's Burgers until 2025. There will that's
yeah.
the Christmas episode at this point. I think is now like always the last episode of
Mm-hmm.
the first half of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, we always get more in the second half too because
Yeah.
they don't start usually till September.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get more soon, but no, this tends to be kind of their cutoff. So depending on football and depending on the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
it could actually have been closer to like February when this came out. So it's been
That's fair.
like enough like extend like it's been enough of time since the Christmas episode that I guess it wouldn't feel this way. I think it's more so because you're watching them together.
Either way, we're missing continuity.
Just a little bit.
It's the tiniest bit of
Which I've got to
continuity
look at
is
these
gone.
episodes now because, like, as I've told you, they start to do more of these episodes of like other holidays because, like, you've had your they do have a Easter episode in this season,
Okay.
and if that is what I think it is, no, they wouldn't do that. Then hold on, I am just going to see real quick if I am correct about this.
Okay.
Which one is this one? No, okay, it's not that one. I was trying to see if there was a Valentine's episode because every now and again we do get one.
Yeah.
And oh, we do. Okay. So that's funny. In 4 episodes, you'll have a Valentine episode.
Okay.
Oh
What
my
is this
god,
timing?
it's that one. I've never been so excited for anything in my life. Oh my god. I love you. So that is
Okay.
actually, you are right. That is really interesting timing because they go to the beach and do that, but between Christmas and Valentine's Day,
They go to the beach.
they go to the beach.
So yeah, I stand by
That's Jake
my comment about the
January.
lack. Yeah, that's definitely January bonfire. No snow. No one's wearing any coats. Everyone's fine.
That is definitely that episode is not placed very well. But the next
Yep,
episode
it
is
is not.
Valentine's, and now I really have never been so excited because then the one also. So next week you're gonna have a Bob's Burgers Valentine episode, and the other one is Gail.
Lovely. Okay, that'll be interesting. That'll be fun.
Next week's just gonna be a lot of fun, and I'm super super excited, and I've been looking forward to this for too long.
That we'll get to record on Christmas Eve.
Oh my god, I love my life so much. What did you rate this one?
So this one got 8s for plot and for personal. It was, it was good, combined chaos. But it got a 6 for character because I really, really couldn't stand Jimmy Jr. in this
Mm-hmm.
episode. It just was too much of him treating Tina badly and having no consequences by the end.
We were this
So,
close to having the exact same score because I
what'd
gave
you give it?
plot and personal are 8.
Okay.
I gave character 7
Ah.
for the same reason. So mine's
Mm-hmm.
a 23, but since you did 1 point less than me,
Dang it. We're so close.
we were so close to having the exact same score again, which happens it's rare, but it does happen.
It does happen, and like when it's 30s, it's less satisfying because okay, we both really loved an episode.
Yeah,
It's more when it's a weird combination of numbers that it's weird. That it's more fun that way.
it really is. But oh my god, I just need it to be next week now. Like, I'm
All
so
right.
excited.
Thank you all for listening. Join us next time when we discuss Once Upon a Time, episode 319, A Curious Thing. Don't forget to like, rate, and follow the podcast wherever you listen so you can be notified every time we publish a new episode. Follow us at OBDYK_pod on Instagram and TikTok. And if you'd like to join our Patreon, you can find the link with more details in our show notes.
This has been an episode of Okay, But Did You Know? A TV and media podcast. It was hosted by Katie and Lauren and edited by Katie.